Hey guys, this is Leann Rappmund from Crushing on Vinyl. Let me get hooked up here and we'll get started. Alrighty, sorry about that. Okay, so again, Leann Rappmund from Crushing on Vinyl. I'm coming to you from San Antonio, Texas, a little northeast of San Antonio. I have been in business for about 2.5 years, and you know, if you would have asked me what were you going to be painting, never ever would I say that my biggest seller would be doormats. I had a realtor reach out to me and say, hey, can you? And sure, I was like, let me try. So I designed a couple mats for her. She liked the mock-ups that I did. And the rest is kind of history. I want to thank Tamara so from the depths of my heart for inviting me to do this for you guys. It humbles me that she believes in me so much. I am new to the live portions of this. Again, I've been doing the behind the scenes with the realtors, and I have an Etsy shop now I've had for about 9 months, and it's kept me busy. I'm normally a 9-to-5er, an accountant for an advertising firm in San Antonio, but this is where I go to let go of the daily struggles and let go of the stuff on my mind and on my heart. So now, you know, I do this for fun. I'm looking to start teaching people, so this is a great start. You're probably gonna see my boobs too close in this video. Oh, another thing, you expected this to be live. My apologies. My 9-to-5er boss decided over the weekend that I was probably gonna be working late tonight. So I went ahead and recorded this early so I could still get it to you guys today. Again, my apologies, but I will have it available. So please feel free to ask questions. I will have it on as much as I can and jump on and answer your questions as fast as possible. But yeah, you're probably gonna see things upside down. You're probably gonna see maybe the ceiling a couple times. Again, the girls are probably gonna get in the way. But, sorry. But just, you know, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something from it, because that's what my heart wants to portray to you guys. So enough about that. You're here for the mat. I know the design that I provided was really, really basic, but in my experience, I had to start basic, and I didn't know how many of you ladies actually had a cutter, a silhouette, or a Cricut, or even a brother that could cut and personalize your mat too much. So I wanted to create a design that allowed you guys to just be able to use your painter's tape to create a design, and maybe a stencil from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, I had stated 2 different colors. I'm gonna transition a little bit. I'm still gonna do the painter's tape. We're gonna do blue on this one, and then we'll transition to a blue and white mat. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So let's go ahead and get started. This part is kind of monotonous. You've just got to measure out. I'll be talking as I go, and just kind of go along with it and paint at your pace. And you might have to pause to finish up some sections since I am pre-recording it, and then, you know, catch back up, you know, after you finish your sections. This part is, like I said, it's kind of monotonous. It's doing the lines, but the exciting part is when you move the tape. When you remove the painter's tape, it leaves really great lines for you. I normally don't use the painter's tape on my wood painting because it's just failed me a lot. But on the mats, it sure does a great job for keeping the lines for me. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Trying to get y'all a good view here. Thanks for your patience, guys. I appreciate it. I'm gonna move up a little bit here. Okay, so what I do is I generally start, perfect. So I generally start by, I take my ruler. I know that my mat is the 18 by 30, so half of 18 is 9. So I know my center's about right here. So just to keep my measurements straight, I'm going to start with the tape in the middle, because then we can work out from there in order to get even spacing in it for it to look really nice on your mat. So I'm going to get the tape. I'm going to just pull out enough just to go right into the center of the 9. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come over here to my ruler. So I know this is about in the middle. So then what in the design, I think I just had a random number. I honestly can't remember how many lines painted I had on there. What's great with this is you can do 1 inch, you can do 2-inch divisions. It's whatever you want. You can be creative. You can make chevron if you wanted to play with that a little bit. You can do, it's basically whatever you want. So I want to do from the lines, or from the edge, I'm sorry, not lines, from the edges of your tape, I want to go 2 inches down this way. So we're going to go at 9 inches, it's going to 7 there. So then I'm going to take this, and this time instead of placing it in the middle of the number, I want it to be 2 inches from the edge of that line. So I'm just going to measure that out and then push it down. And I'm going to do that again. And basically I'm doing this just to make sure, because if you're off on this, unfortunately there are times that you can see and you can tell. So here 9, 7, 16 to 18, you can definitely see if you're not quite straight. Okay, so let's see. That is, didn't think I'd get a call in right now. So then up here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the 2 inches up as well. So it's at 13, we're gonna go to an 11, and again, we're gonna have that edge right there. And right there, 11, 10. Now, if you do have to pick up the tape a couple times, it will lose its stick. So you just got to be careful not to lose the stick. And I'll tell you some tips on how to not get the paint under. What's awesome about this is it's pretty friendly on, and that's not long enough. It's pretty friendly on how I guess how precise you have to be with your paint, because it's just one kind of, it's one pounce motion. Okay, so it looks like we're a little bit off, but it's not going to hurt because we're just going to have a little bit extra on the bottom of color, but that's a-okay. So, of course, everywhere that you do not see tape, that's where we're going to paint today. I know I had mentioned that it would be 2 tubes of paint. Depending on how much coverage you put, you may need 3. I apologize for that. If you have several colors and you're nervous about running out of paint in this process, you can actually alternate colors. So you'll see that I alternated colors on whenever I do the changeover. I alternated colors, the blue and white. Today I'm going to also do that as well, because just want to kind of show that transition and how that looks. So I'm going to be using, here. It is multi-surface and it's ink spot blue, and I'm going to be using the titanium white from Folk Art. These are my favorite paints to use because they are definitely thicker than your regular paint. I've tried some other brands and didn't work as well, didn't cover as well. So, ouch, whoops, I'm taking the plastic off. All right, so let's see here. Let's see, blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. Okay, so we're gonna do blue on the bottom, white on the top. So what I wanna do is I wanna start with the furthest area because the girls will definitely get some paint on them if I don't, because I'll be leaning on top of them. So I just put some paint. Oh, I use whoops, put that down again. I use the lid to my painter's tape. It works just fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some paint on there, and that's a good amount of paint, but you're gonna see even each color might have a different consistency. Yeah, y'all can see that. So you just take this motion and you're gonna go straight up and down. You don't want to go sideways because then some of your paint might go this way underneath the tape, but you're just going to do a nice even pounce pressure on here, and you're just gonna wanna cover it, you know, just where you can see, you know, the white is nice and prominent. Are y'all able to see that? Let's see, there we go, a little bit better. And you're just going to do a nice coverage. I've heard some people say that you can use, I guess, butcher's paper if you're doing like a design or a design or a name personalization, and you're gonna cut it. I personally have found my best luck with the stencil vinyl that you can get from Oramask. I generally order mine off of either Walmart.com, or sometimes I even get it off of Amazon. I get like 50 feet at a time. So as you can see, I'm just going through just an up and down motion. And you're gonna wanna just basically get enough where you're not gonna see a lot of brown in there, but some is okay because it keeps the personality of the mat, of course. But also, if you put too much, what happens is after it dries, it can actually crack, and it won't be a very eye-appealing coverage because, like I said, the paint does crack if you like fold the mat, or like I roll it to ship it. So basically, just continue to do this. And ladies, please feel free to ask any questions. You can reach me on my my Facebook page, crushingonvinyl.com. This is, I've done I think I've done over 200 mats as of now. My biggest seller is my Texas mat with families' last names on it. I also do some police designs, the thin blue line. I do stuff like that. You can totally make it your own. You can do cute sayings like "Welcome to the Shit Show." I have that one. Everyone seems to like that one a lot. You know, and I hope that this can become something you're not timid about, that you can actually explore more of your creativity. Use it as just another canvas. I mean, it's really awesome to be able to do that and be able to just add color. Don't be afraid of color, because on Etsy, one thing I do notice on Etsy is a lot of people tend to just do the black color, you know, with their designs. And, you know, for a while there, I was the only one, not the only one. There was like 3 or 4 of us that actually used color in our designs. Don't be afraid to use color. Let that just brighten up a doorway, you know. It's like, here's my welcome mat. Welcome to my home. And it's definitely a selling point. So like if you have a state where, you know, people love putting their you know, they're proud of their state. They, like Texas is really big on putting the state on everything. You know, they really love that Texas, you know, where it's the vibrant colors. And that is why I do like the multi-surface paints from Folk Art, is it's definitely a very vibrant color. Just like this white. This white is amazing. I would never use like a wicker for this, and on the Texas I wouldn't use a wicker color either, because I wanted it to pop out. Also, you know what's really fun? Sorry, I'm gonna keep on painting. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, I'm not gonna paint this whole thing in front of you. I wanna show you what it looks like when you take off this first 2, and then we're gonna kind of jump over to put the other decal on, or the actual design on of the anchor. But, and as you can see, you can already see the difference in the consistency from the white to the blue. I've noticed the blue and the red, the stronger the pigment, the thicker it is. So then you might accidentally have to use more bottles of paint. And that's why I apologize if I didn't have y'all get enough. I didn't think about that when I was putting the plans together for you guys. So my sincerest apologies about that. But don't be, like I said, don't be afraid of color. It's fun. It's, you can make it whimsical. You can actually, what I do love doing is I have started actually putting like highlights and lowlights onto my mats. Like I have a palm tree design, and I had noticed that my mats, you can never predict how dark your mats are going to be in the actual, like the natural. These are, I think they're coconut husk fibers. You can never tell if it's really going to be light or dark in your order when I get them in bulk from Home Depot. So I noticed that my palm tree, the actual tree part, was almost the same color as the mat that I had put it on. So I'm like, well, crud, I can't have that. I can't not allow, it looks like floating palm limbs, you know? So I went ahead and added some lowlights and highlights to it, and it really made it pop. So definitely, and you can follow the same advice that Tamara does with her painting skills. She puts on there, or I'm sorry, she says, you know, you add white to make it lighter, but you, in order to get the same tone, you want to go ahead and definitely make sure that you can use that in order to get that same tone to do your highlights and lowlights. Sorry, I was thinking ahead to what I was wanting to say and I kind of lost my spot. But yeah, definitely do that. It adds life to your mat. It can add depth. You can even make it look a little bit 3D, which is phenomenal. Again, just be creative. If you're a whimsical artist, let it show in your mats, for sure. Don't think that you just have to stick with the same old, just black words on there. Go out of your comfort zone, add beauty to it, and people will come to you, for sure. They'll be like, where'd you get that? Oh, I want to buy that. You know, there might be even craft shows in your area. This is really the going thing right now as far as people wanting to purchase. Because right now, it's summer. Everyone's starting to go outside. They're wanting to welcome people over for get-togethers. So they want to dress up. So, I mean, if you're in a business, if you have a business and you want to implement this into your plans, that's awesome. If you want to just do it as gifts for family, that's even great as well. Okay, so just real quick, if you're looking right here, you can see a little bit, it's like a dark shadowing. That's a little bit of the brown. From what I'm looking at, that's brown. That's okay. You're not going to have the full coverage like you would on wood. And you really don't want that because, like I said, once it dries, it will crack. Now, if you can see big chunks of brown under there, yeah, you do want to do another coat just to make sure you're getting those bristles down there. Oh, and I guess I put on the list that for Waverly, these are the lovely stencils stencil brushes that I use. I guess I should have gone over that in the beginning. My apologies. So we're almost done with this line. And then we'll do a reveal on this one. And then we'll move this one to the side and I'll bring you the next step. So what kind of things would y'all want to learn or know more about this that I'm not covering? Please feel free. Also, if you're someone who is seasoned in painting mats, please share your advice, recommendations, if there's something else that works better for you. I know one of you ladies had mentioned that you can get the paint if you're just getting like the black paint. You can go get the paint, outdoor paint, just at your local Walmart or Lowe's and have them do a gallon. It's cheaper that way. So that's another idea that is really great. I hadn't even thought of that. I guess right now I'm just really partial and I can go online to Plaid and order the paint in bunches, in bundles. I'm looking to start actually having parties though, so it might not be a bad idea for me to go get gallons of paint at a time. I'm fixing to put together a fundraiser for a high school group that's going to nationals in June. For FCCLA, my daughter advanced this past week from state, and she's so excited. They get to go to Anaheim, but and the school is so generous in paying 40%, but there's still quite a bit that is not covered. Anyway, so here we go. So that's finished. As you can see, it's pretty thick coverage. This is very, very normal to see the shadowing in there, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna put this in the water. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do the great reveal, the big reveal of this one between these two. So when you pull it up, this is really satisfying. Look how beautiful that looks. All the way through. You get a nice crisp line. I think it looks fantastic. I'm not going to pull this one up because I'm going to do the white later on this. So I'm going to take this, put this on the side, and I'm going to trade it out. Really long. And now I'm going to bring you one I've done. Okay. So at this point, this is what it's going to look like. Let me bring this closer. Sorry about this, guys. Trying to get it all lined up so you can see. All right, let me see where my hand is. Okay, so this is where I would go ahead and do my design in the middle. If I was personalizing this for a client, I would have maybe their last name in a really pretty script font, or if they want a more block font, you can do that as well. So I went to Michael's and I didn't find anchors. I'm still doing the anchor, but I did find, here we have pineapples, which are really popular right now, really popular. And of course, this one probably would be too big. Oh, it might actually fit, where you could do that in the middle. What would be cute is maybe if you wanted to just do the little one and put it on the side over here. And then there's the middle size one where if you want to do that middle or the side, you could do either one. And then I also found these are really cute. Again, from Michael's. They're actually pretty close to the same price. Sorry about the glare there. These are really, really great. And then of course, for those of you who have cutters, I went ahead and cut on my silhouette. I love my silhouette. And like I said, this is the Oramask 813 stencil vinyl. So I cut the anchor. So now I'm just gonna weed it. Okay, so that leaves me, you know, my anchor. So I have several options here. I can either do it straight, or I can do it just a little crooked. Again, the choice is yours. You just, you know, just make it as creative as you want it. If you like it sideways, do it sideways. I generally eyeball where to put it. This time I'm just for the sake of where my middle point is, right here at 15. And then if I wanted to just do this, you know where my middle. Okay, so I know I'm gonna go about right there. Now, again, I eyeball a lot because I've been doing this a while. This is my transfer tape. This is gonna help me move it over. Those of you who have cutters probably are already familiar. You probably have your own that you like. I get this is Nicosa. I get it at my local art store, but any transfer tape will do. And what I do is I take a sheet of it, put it over. This comes in handy when I'm doing them with names that have a lot of detail. This one's not wanting to cut. Names with a lot of detail. Because it keeps all the middles of the A in there and whatnot. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this part off. I'm gonna take a squeegee. Turn it over. And I'll pull the backing off. You see how all the stencil is staying? So there we go. So this is ready. So what I do want to let you know is when I put it on, I put painter's tape around it to hold it down. You can use these pins if you wanted to use the pins. I think these are called upholstery pins. And you can hold like the center down if you wanted to. Now, if you have an underlying layer of paint, you will definitely need a pin to hold it down because it no longer has that little stick, because this is a sticky, see how it's sticky? It won't stick to the paint. So you'll definitely need to use this. So I'll be using these today, plus my painter's tape. For these kind here, they are not sticky, but you're welcome to use painter's tape. And then all these are all connected, so you won't have to worry as much. I didn't use any type of connection here. I could have. I know Tamara makes hers with connection points. I'm okay without it. So that's totally your preference. So you're gonna see me use painter's tape and pins. You can use either or, whatever works for you. Just kind of play with them and see what works. So I'm gonna go back here, find my 15 again. Right in the center, right there. Again, I'm eyeballing. I am just having fun with it today. So I just squeeze it down a little bit. Again, not gonna stick as well as it would to just a bare mat. So I just use my squeegee. I hold it down. Be patient if you're using this kind. It can be frustrating sometimes. I know I did anyway, but maybe that's just me. So I'm gonna tape it down this way. Oh, let me back up like 1,000 spaces. Okay, so this is after this is dry. I forgot to go over that with you. This has to dry first. Has to. Otherwise, your color is gonna try to blend with the other. So I'm so sorry I didn't cover that. It has to dry. I'll try to add a note to Tamara whenever she's uploading this to make sure that we don't catch all off guard. But this is my dry mat. I couldn't do this to the wet mat right now. I mean, I could, but it's very messy and you'd mess up your design. Okay, so then the second section. And if you wanted to go, and just for time purposes, I had one waiting. If you wanted to use a dryer, a hair dryer, you can. To dry it, it won't completely have it where it's like a cured state where you can put it right outside with a hair dryer. So just giving you that feedback. You have to let it cure for at least 24 hours before you put it outside. So I generally do it way ahead of time so I can give it directly to my clients for usage purposes. Sometimes with just the delay, I'm sorry, not the delay, the urgency of the gift, it has to be given to them sooner, but I do let them know that it needs to cure for 1 day in order to make sure it's safe for outside usage, to make sure that the paint doesn't chip off at that point. So here I'm just putting pins, mainly in the places that are painted, just to hold it down. I kind of go overboard with this. I know Tamara doesn't really hold her stuff down with painter's tape. I kind of freaked out with that, so even on when I use stencils on wood, I kind of do it too. Okay, so I'm going to use bright pink. again, it is the multi-surface folk art bright pink. And again, you don't want to do this part until after your paint has dried, or if you blow it dry with a hair dryer, just like you would, and if you can touch it like this and not see any paint, excuse me, not see paint, then you can go ahead and move forward with it. So, okay, let me get a brush. Again, these are my Waverly, excuse the paint on it, I use them a lot. My Waverly stencil brush. I'm going to use my container for the paint. I hope y'all find that you enjoy this kind of painting. Like I said, I find it fun. I don't know if it's just stress relieving, you know, by doing the whole pouncing thing over and over and over. I know several of you were doing different designs. I guess you were cutting your own, which is totally fine. Because basically what I'm showing you today, it's basically a technique more than anything. Definitely more of just a technique. Now you are going to see, especially if you have darker colors on your mat, you will see the darkness come through the bottom. This one I'm not real worried about. If you are, you're welcome to stencil around it, I guess. What you can do is, I'll do another tutorial on how to do the stencil first, but you can do either. This one's a fun, whimsical one for me. Just color, not whimsical, it's colorful. So, and it's a lot of fun. I don't really mind it shining through. You see how that's splattered? My apologies. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're not going to sling it, because it will sling all over your mat. And if it does, don't panic. But I do not want you to try to go rub it off at that point. As hard as it may be, because I know it's hard for me, don't go rub it. What I want you to do is I want you to continue finishing up your mat. And then when everything's dry, I want you to go back and I want you to trim it. Just trim the top layer. You can take your scissors, and actually, I don't know if you can see this, but you can kind of go under and just trim underneath that paint to remove it. Now, if it's a big space, you might want to just start over. But if it's just a small space, like one little drop, like say I got the pink over here, I would just let it dry, and I would then take care of it from there, just by trimming it off. Because once you smear it, it's really hard, really hard to come back from that at all. If you do put the wrong spelling of a word, which I've done, I try to pay attention, but time gets the best of me. I work too hard, too long sometimes, and I get it wrong. You learn real quick to have another set of eyes on things for you when you're doing a personalization, as y'all probably know. It's just not as easy on a mat. I'm sorry, on a board, because the board you can just paint over. And on the board you can just paint over and totally get an okay result. If you continue to have errors in the same spot on these mats, like I shared with you earlier, too many layers of the paint will crack it and makes it look really unprofessional and just not appealing. It literally like looks like cracks in the ground. One idea, if you don't like because I can see the lines through there of the blue, one thing you could do is totally have, like if you use this, use the negative, the positive, I don't know which one's which, the opposite of this one. Use that to put down when you're putting your tape down, so then you don't paint on it if you don't like the look of the blue coming through a little bit. So that's one idea. If you didn't want to use the anchor, you could put the pineapple like I suggested, someone's name, a monogram. I really like how the white looks there. It kind of pops out that pink a little bit better. Are you able to see still? Let me kind of shift it. There you go. So yeah, where was I at? Oh, using other ideas. You don't have to use the lines. Actually, if you wanted to do chevron, because that's pretty popular right now, on Amazon.com they have a frog tape that is actually chevron shaped. It is quite a bit more expensive than your regular tape, but if you wanted to just do something where you're not having to create the chevron on your own, or you don't have a cutter to be able to cut it out for you, it's an option. Again, it's like 16 bucks for a roll, which, like I said, it can be pretty expensive when you're trying to save cost, either as a gift or just trying to save costs as a business owner for the cost of goods that for what you're producing. Okay, so I have a little bit of extra paint here. I'm just gonna go in those areas that have the dark blue underneath. I think next time what I would definitely do is use the opposite of this to not get paint there. But hopefully this at least shows y'all technique on how to do it. Again, really forgiving. I'm just going straight up and down and it holds its shape. You know, if you need to hold it down in certain spots, you just do that. So yeah, so there is my hot pink inker. Let me move this to the side. My pink ball. So now this is the fun part for me. This always has been. So now I'm gonna pull out, I don't know how to use that. I have to wash this anyway, so I'm gonna pull my pins out so I can just run them through water. Just hold it down and gently remove them. If you just remove like that, you're gonna lift it all up. And if you lift it all up, there's a possibility that you're gonna get that paint that's on the actual stencil on your mat, and you don't wanna do that. So this one just lifted that. Look how pretty that circle is. That makes me happy. It's like my little happy moments. I feel like Bob Ross right at that moment. That's kind of cool. Okay, so here I'm gonna lift it. Just be careful not to let it. So there is my anchor on my mat. So let me wipe my hands off real quick and we'll finish up. So now I would let me come to me. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I know it was a very simple, very simple tutorial on just mainly techniques. So you can see, don't be afraid of it. Be creative with it. Don't be afraid to use color. Definitely use color. Have fun. You know, I'm a girl that normally, I cuss, but not a lot. But when I got to put shit show on a mat, I was thrilled. So I actually posted on Facebook that I got to put a curse word. So be fun, be funny, have fun with it, and just enjoy yourself. that's the one thing that I've learned in Tamara's group is everyone's really supportive, everyone has fun, and they really just enjoy what they do and they enjoy the people and who they're getting to know. So I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you'll come see me over at Crush It on Vinyl, and please ask below any questions at all. I'll be more than happy. It can be business related on how to market these. It can be ideas. It can be software ideas, anything. So, thanks for being here. I appreciate your patience with how everything went, and I hope you have a great Monday. Well, Monday's almost over for you guys, so hope you have a great week. Bye.